you to look in the mirror and say his name 5 times. Then flick the lights on and off. Legend has it that Candyman will appear and claim your life. Man, I love horror with a good story. But horror is older than movies, you know? It's older than books. It comes from folklores and frightening stories passed down through the life experiences of mankind. From cave paintings to the Shutter app, people have always found the means to scare themselves. Candyman is just a modern-day urban legend that preys on the atavistic fears of society. He's a tormented spirit of an artist who was wrongfully murdered for loving a woman. He was killed for love. That's what makes him so unique, is his compassion. Tony Todd, the actor who played Candyman, managed to make the character terrifying and seductive at the same time. His trancing voice paired with his menacing stare through vulnerable eyes made him one of the most iconic villains within the genre. With the recent resurgence in popularity due to the new movie, we thought we would discuss the legendary film that gave us this icon. Released on October 16, 1992, Candyman stunned audiences and raked in over $25 million at the box office. This led to 3 more films starring our favorite hook-handed villain. For the second week in a row, we have a story based off of a Clive Barker story, and I'm not upset about it. So what are movies for if not for discussing? Ozark and I have gathered all the writing on the wall. We put together all the things you need to know about this flick, and then some. So many things to cover this episode, so without any further introduction, here is our take on Candyman. Boom! Welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. I am your host and your scary movie companion, Christian Ramey, and back again for another week, clapping them cheeks, the best producer in the whole wide world, and a good friend of mine, Mr. Ozark Mark. Ozark, how you living today, buddy?
1, 2, 3 in the place to be. I'm here with Christian Ramey, and this is the Sloppy Horror Podcast episode, whatever the fuck it is. But this is a great episode. We're going to have a lot of fun. This is a great movie. This is a great topic of conversation. This is a great atmosphere. This is great everything that you can think of off the top of your head here. Boom, Mr. Sloppy Horror Podcast. Welcome back to you and all your friends listening. I hope you're listening naked. It's going to be fantastic. So here we go. We are talking about today on this episode making love to your eardrums or your eyes, depending on what you're doing. How was that intro? Was that good?
Yeah, it was good. All
right, good. We're going to keep it then. What are we talking about here today on the Sloppy Horror Podcast? Christian Ramey, for those who are blind and just clicked on a random link somehow.
Are we, this isn't Indian in the Cupboard episode?
No.
Okay, then Candyman. We're doing Candyman today, and then we'll save the Indian in the Cupboard for later, because I like that one too. But this episode is Candyman 1992. There's so much buzz going on about the new movie, and I says to Ozark, I says, we need to do the old movie. You and I both know it, which is really funny. Ozark and I, if you're not new to the channel, you know that we've done music, and we had an old Candyman beat we did a song to. Like, Candyman is something that we've both talked about, and we both are fans of. And it's just, since we've started the show, we wanted to make sure that we covered some of the big horror flicks, but we didn't want to reveal all of our cards at once. You don't want to just do the best 20, 30 and then have nothing else to talk about. We're coming into October, into the spooky season. It's Candyman time, buddy. We have to talk about it. We can wait no longer. No longer.
There is no point of longer waiting.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's not. I think when you lay down some of the most iconic horror villains, there's only so many names that are going to get out there before you get to Candyman. And I like that the movie is his name. Like, if Jason was called just Jason, or Freddy was called Freddy, or I like that Wishmaster is Wishmaster. I think there's something cool about that Leprechaun is Leprechaun. Like, I don't know why. It's stupid and silly, but I like that Candyman. That's all you got to say.
Right. I mean, Candyman is a catchy, kind of name, too. I
Absolutely.
think that helps it. I mean, the 2 syllables and all that when you really break it down. I haven't seen this movie in quite a very long time. Honestly, I couldn't tell you the last time I remember watching it. And it's really sad because this is in the horror world, this is a hidden gem of a movie. And if you haven't seen Candyman yet, I recommend that you watch the original one from 1992 if you're going to venture on into the new one.
Yeah.
Now, you know how we feel about remakes. Me nor Christian Ramey have seen the new Candyman yet. My impression is that it's going to be Candyman, but it's a different view on it, or something like that. It's an homage. It's not a remake, which I'm fine with. Now, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of comments. People aren't too thrilled about the movie, but how I look at it is, I'm glad that when they reamp these things, for me, it just gives me more motivation to go back and watch the original one.
Absolutely.
And if it gets more people who have never heard of Candyman before, they think like, oh, there was an original one in 1992, and they go check it out and they discover it, I think it's well worth it. So, I'm not going to sit here and preach about the new movie. I haven't seen it, don't really care about it that much. But having the new Candyman come out, it amped me up to go watch this original one.
Put a little buzz to where all this buzz is coming from.
Yes.
No pun intended with buzz there.
So and now rewatching this, out of all the movies we've done so far, Christian Ramey, I've got to say that this is probably one of the scariest movies we've done. Like, Candyman is a very fucking terrifying movie. Not just because of Candyman himself, which is terrifying enough, but there's other things, like as you watch an adult hit real fears.
Yeah.
There are many different kinds of fears that are all playing together, all coming together and creating this.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just had like an overwhelming warmth of like guilt. So I just rewatched it again too. I watched it again last night, but I really like to, before we talk about it, even if it's a couple clips, I really just want to put myself in the movie before we get into it. So it sounds like, we're right there with you. Well, I'm down here in the studio. I'm watching Candyman, and you know how it is when you get home from work. Sometimes you're just tired for some reason. Like, it's like that crazy tired for like just a half hour. Like, there's sometimes you get that weird little like, holy shit, if I don't get up and start moving, I'm going to pass out if I sit down. I got to keep going, keep rolling. So I'm watching Candyman. My 3-year-old guest comes down here, and she, like, I don't know, Candyman's different. We'll get into it because it is gory at times, but it's a lot of scenery. Well, anyway, she's watching it with me, but it's 45 minutes before Candyman's even in the movie. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those dad moments, like, where my eyes are closed, but I'm watching the TV. When you're like, you go turn off TV, and dad's like, I'm watching that. Score's 5-3. I know. And you're like, Jesus, he's right, dude. Like, I thought he was asleep. Yeah. I've gained those powers in my older age, and it's strange. But Rachel comes down here and she says, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, you know those memes where it says like when I'm watching the movie versus when people walk in watching the movie? Yeah. It was one of those, bro. It was when Helen's character wakes up with a knife after Bernadette's character is gone, and she's like, ah! Mm-hmm. And Rachel's like, babe, what is she watching? I was like, she's fine. It's not even, and she's got the knife and bloody, and I just couldn't even defend it in that moment.
Dude, that's the only scene that's one of the scenes that you cannot have playing.
And then
when a 3-year-old is in the room.
And then I'm thinking, and I'm like defending, I was like, she's not even watching, and I look over, and she's
like glued.
But she's not scared, like she didn't miss a beat.
Well, she doesn't understand it really either. I mean, she's 3, like she's not gonna remember this anyway, but still, I mean.
Dude, I was just laughing so hard, but I was like, man, I didn't mean to do that. And then obviously the one great part, especially with her, because she loves Halloween, folks, who do you want explaining movies to your kids and music? How about you take 10 minutes to explain music and movies to your kids at a young age, especially horror flicks? Like, hey, these are actually really badass because it's like a haunted house. You know that thing that almost made you throw up your dinner? It wasn't real. It was all special effects. It was plastic. It was fake blood. It wasn't real. It was a computer, and it tricked you to the point where you almost threw up. Isn't that kind of sick? Isn't that kind of cool? Like, if I had some gag where I was like, look, Mark, I got a pair of scissors in my neck, and it was a fake gag, you'd be like, holy shit, dude, that's cool, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. Yeah. So versus condemning them, you should look at the art. You'll take the same people that will condemn horror movies will take their kids to the circus. Like, look at these people jumping off the tightrope. Bro, it's the same thing. It's illusion. It's magicians. It's all it is. When you go watch a Tom Savini, a Rick Baker, or whoever, these people are tricking you. They're David Copperfields. It's not real. Like, I don't idolize serial killers. I don't like real life violence. Like, Obviously, I know about them and shit. More so, well, I don't know. They're common now. But seriously, I don't promote that shit. I don't like, oh, cool, Charles Manson. Like, that's not what I'm about. Like, I'm aware of him, but I think that dude was a mentally ill dude who actually killed people. But Leatherface? Yeah, that's my guy. I'll rock his shirt because he's not real. Mm-hmm. It's fake, buddy. It's fake. So you can't shun horror movies, man. You should look at it, and you should teach your kids. This is what's going on, and that's what I do. My daughter knows it's like Halloween. They're dressing up. It's fake. They know there's actors. Are you telling your kids that movies are actual events? Like this was filmed last night. Yeah, he's out there. You better watch out. He got that girl. Like you're telling your kids movies are real? Like they are aware that there's actors and actors. I don't know. I always just thought that was strange to me that people really got that nuts over movies and horror flicks. Don't you think, Ozark Mark?
Strange indeed, Christian Ramey.
You remember when we did that episode, I think it was Friday the 13th, when we were talking about Siskel and Ebert and how they were busting balls on slasher flicks, and you're like, dude, you're missing the whole point of it, dummy. It's because it looks cool, like, because it's not real.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about movies, entertainment, music, all that. Like I said before, it's all based on opinion. There's no best movie. There's no best musician of all time. There might be a best musician as far as record sales.
You are aware of the Grammy Award artist Shaquille O'Neal, correct? And he had the movie Kazam, the best movie ever. So,
same thing.
Yeah, outside of Shaquille O'Neal, yes. So let's the
Shaq-a-Rooney piece is back.
Shaq.
I like when he goes into the store with a wig on. I want you to tell me about Epic Stuffed Crust.
Dude, he's a beast, actually. I just saw a video of him, like, leaving a gas station. It was, like, middle of nowhere. It's, like, in the middle of the night. He's, like, at a pilot station, dude. There's, like, fucking 4 cars there. Like, everybody inside. You can't hide. You're Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Everybody's freaking out. He was nice to every fucking person. And there was a couple outside pumping gas, and they're like, we're not going to bother him until he gets out. But he got out, and they're like, Shaq, we love you, whatever. And he's like, you want to get a picture? Like, just super nice.
Shaquille O'Neal is a national treasure, okay? He's one of those people.
He's super great, dude.
Yeah, he's I mean, how could you hate him? Nobody hates Shaquille O'Neal.
He should be in a horror movie.
He could probably be president, the way things are going. But
you heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here first. Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal 2077 or something. I don't know, whatever it is. But X-Nay, back to the Candyman A. Now, I've said before that some of these horror icons really slip your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Candyman is one of them, but Candyman is really one of the scariest.
Do you want to give him a little synopsis?
Ones. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
No, you can't. Do you want me to, or do you want to?
Well, you're the horror Bible guy. You're the horror priest. You do it.
So this is kind of wrapped up in more of like a, it's not your traditional slasher, it's not your gore flick, it's more of like a psychological dark noir thriller with some blood and guts too, but it's a little artsy. So you have a main character, Helen. She has a friend, Bonadette, or what the hell's her, why is her name so fucking bad? Let me look at their fucking, her best friend's name. Ozark. Why is it slipping my name? You know why? I'll tell you exactly why it's slipping my name. So, Bernadette, not Bonadette.
Slipping my name?
Her name's slipping my mind. Excuse. Okay. I can't talk. I know you can't. I've been drinking. Great. So, you know what's really nuts? That's the same girl from Silence of the Lambs who played Ardelia. So this girl gets 2 major movies, and her name is Ardelia and Bernadette. Those are the 2 names you get, dog? Like, okay. Anyways, Bernadette and Helen, they're like researching urban legends together, and they get a hint of Candyman, and they start researching him, and they get deeper and deeper into the research, and they find what they're looking for, and they eventually find that Candyman is real. You can summon him by looking in the mirror and saying his name 5 times. He pops out. Candyman is played by the actor Tony Todd, and Candyman is super fucking tall. He's like this tall, handsome figure with the craziest voice in the world with a hook for a hand, and he's got bees all over him. He's got a Dracula vibe to him, man. He's like seductive and scary, but he's not scary because he's chasing you down. It's like one of those things where he locks people into like a tractor beam where it's like, and like you can't move, dude, because you're like, you want to trust him. He's like talking to you like gently. He's like, it's like if Bob Ross were to overtake you or something.
Dude, like I love his voiceover that they do, those effects. It's nuts. It's absolutely terrifying.
One
But
of a
it's
kind.
So cool. One of a kind, never can be done again. Anything that remotely sounds like that, you're going to think of this. And just the fact that he takes you, once he has his eyesight on you, you are done for. He is going to ruin your life. He takes every part of Helen's life away.
Yeah, dude.
Movie. And that's another real fear, and it's really kind of sad. This is kind of like a sad movie too. You really do feel heaven. And if you don't see the sadness in it, just put somebody that you love in Helen's place, and imagine like it's you are absolutely helpless once Candyman has his sights on her. He takes away her best friend. He takes away her. He takes away the only person she had left was her husband or something.
But he was an asshole.
But he was an asshole, and that's another fear. Like your significant other this is the only person you have,
and he's banging someone else.
Banging someone else. Like he wasn't there when you need him. She was looking forward to speaking with her husband the entire time she was in that damn insane asylum, and then she finally gets out and you come home to that. Like that's another real fear that will hit people where it hurts. Anybody that's in love, that will hit you where it hurts.
Yeah.
So
I tell you what's even like kind of, it adds like a different layer to that. I think Candyman knew that her relationship was on the rocks. Plus he gets real he really likes Helen because she looks like a previous lover. So the story of Candy...
And she's beautiful, too.
Oh, yeah. Virginia Madsen, she's fucking gorgeous, dude.
Yeah.
She's still hot now.
Yeah.
But he likes her because it looks like a previous lover. So he's like obviously like a ghost creature. And when he was alive, his father was a slave. But Candyman grew up wealthy and he became an artist. And he was a wealthy artist and a well-known artist. But he had a relationship with a white woman. The father of that white woman did not like that, put together a lynch. They cut his hand off. They covered him in honey. Bees got him. They killed him. And then he comes back. But that's what makes his character so interesting is because he was an artist. So he's like a very erudite, intelligent guy. Like he's not dumb. He's got this gentleness to him. But he's got so much pain where it's like this, I have to do this now. Like, I have to fucking kill everybody just because, I don't know, it's just so rich. Like, he's almost looks like you don't know if he's going to cry or yell or like whatever. You could just tell the dude's in pain. Mm-hmm. Tony Todd crushed that.
Oh, yeah.
Crushed it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely would have worked with zero other people. Like, that movie would not have worked. The voice... And it's neat because that's not like, Tony's not like, I'm sure he kind of like spiced up his voice a little bit, but that's how he talks, man. Like, listen to his interview. Like, he has this down here when he talks to you. You're like, whoa, dog. Would you just eat a piece of charcoal? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, everything about Candyman is terrifying. His rebar looking hook for a hand, all gory.
Yeah.
Dude, he brutally murders people. And that will give you your murder fix, gore fix. Just the sounds, his grunts. Like when he kills people, holy shit. Very brutal, very awesome.
I think, too, I like how his hook is into, like, it's not just a hook outside of a coat. Like, it's inside of a stump of nastiness.
Yeah.
You're like, ew, dude. Like, so if you, obviously, most people are familiar with this movie. I'm assuming that you are. I'm not saving it for what do you know fact, because this is a common fact that most people know if they're familiar with this movie, but we're going to touch it, obviously. The bees were real that this man dealt with. There was a guy, a bee wrangler. We've talked about insect wranglers. They're a popular theme this season, Ozark. Yeah. I guess they're a lot more common than there's more bug guys out there than we were given credit to.
You just don't think about it, I guess.
No, you don't. Someone's getting paid. Someone's living the dream, man.
What do you think costs more, bees or roaches?
I'm thinking, like, probably bees, bro, because, like, they could sting you and, like, everyone's afraid of them. Like, you can get, like, a room full of WWF wrestlers, or WWE, I'm sorry, and, like, throw in, like, 2 bees and everybody's...
Yeah, bees, you got to keep them in a nest and stuff. You got to wear the white suit. You got to spray that powder, whatever the fuck it is. They have a queen. Roaches, just put trash out and leave it there in the sun, and you'll get roaches.
So, I did some learning and some research.
Did you now?
10,000 bees. Okay, it's like 10,000 bees. And I guess throughout the whole franchise, he got stung like 26 times. But he worked out a deal where he said, every time I get stung, I get $1,000. He worked it into his contract, so it's like, that's a pretty satisfying bee sting. Like, if you just knew immediately that was $1,000.
Oh, yeah. I'd take some bee stings for $1,000 per.
I'd Macaulay Culkin that shit and my girl. I would go out, bro.
Mm-hmm. Macaulay Culkin and my girl.
I got 52!
You can't see without his glasses. But dude, I can't believe this man fucking put bees in his mouth.
So they made like this little thing to put in there, I guess, to keep him from going down in his throat.
Yeah, but that's not, you gotta really appreciate this, because these are real bees. The dedication these people put in to entertain you. Like,
put
you gotta
bees in your mouth.
You gotta appreciate these people, man. Like, who does that?
Hey, right now, like, let's say if it's that same bee guy, it's the same scene. Like, how much would it cost Ozark Mark right now to recreate that scene? Because he did say they use the queen bee pheromone, which keeps those bees chill.
Yeah.
And then also they took younger bees, which are less likely to sting you because they don't have full developed stingers. They still can.
Yeah.
But how much would that take Ozark Mark to do that scene, man?
Dude, I don't know, because you got to factor in the fact that they might not get it first shot, so you might have to redo it.
I know.
Like, if the fucking grip guy fucks up and gets a mic or something in, or you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of fucking factors here. If Helen forgets her fucking line or some shit, you know what I mean?
$10,000?
Oh,
that's like almost right there. Like,
know,
that's
dude,
like that number.
That doesn't sound like a lot, but when it's in front of you,
I know.
you know what I mean? Like, I would make out with you for $10,000.
For sure, man.
Oh yeah, like
For
you know what I
sure.
mean? No question about it. $10,000 can pay a lot of bills for me and a lot of debt,
Yeah, dude.
or at least put a dent in it.
Oh, yeah.
But now, yeah, probably, because I mean, like, you know, whatever. There's stings. Like, I'm not allergic. I mean, I don't know. I might be. That my foot swole up. I got stung by something. Remember that? Like a couple weeks ago, my ankle was gone.
I got one in the ear when all them damn cicadas were out. I thought it was a cicada, and I swatted it, and it was like, I was like, ah!
Oh, dude.
My ear was like double the size of the other
Oh my
one.
goodness. So, did we finish the synopsis? Did we not? Okay. So,
Yeah, we did. We summed it up. Pretty much Helen and Bernadette, they're looking for Candyman, the legend. They eventually find him. Candyman falls in love with Helen and pretty much destroys her life in the process of trying to obtain her in this, like, permanent... Think of Dracula looking for, for his woman. It reminds me very much of that. The Jonathan Harker. And he took his girl because he thought she looked like his previous girlfriend. It reminds me of that Dracula story. So it kind of ties in with that a little bit. But we haven't dropped this. I don't think I've mentioned it yet. I have been drinking. But Clive Barker, this is another Clive Barker story. This was based off of one of his books, dude. So we had Hellraiser last week based off Clive Barker. And then we got Candyman this week based off Clive Barker book. And you could kind of get there, like that weird, dark, creepy love story, as you remember with Frank and Julia and Hellraiser. Mm-hmm. You're kind of getting that here and with the Candyman Helen. It's like not a perfect love. It's a weird, it's a gory, it's a dark love.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool, man.
Would you do that? Let's say you're an immortal soul. Somebody has damned you.
Yeah.
Would you try and seek out somebody who looks like Rachel after she would be gone? You think you would do that?
Probably. I'm emotional. I'm romantic. I'd go out there. I'm not romantic. I'm not. But like I would be more, I would say I'm emotional enough where I could. I'm passionate enough. And that's what's really fun to me about Candyman is how passionate he is. He's like a Shakespeare or something, man. He's like Pepe Le Pew out there. You're like,
yeah.
I'm not like, not just because I'm a horror fan, but there's like just a part of you where you're like, damn, Helen, why don't you go with this man? Like, I don't know what y'all are going to...
He's very articulate, very poetic, too, in his voiceover and all that, man. It's very entertaining. It's very different from a traditional horror movie, but like I said, it's fucking scary.
It's scary stuff, guy.
As an adult, this movie is scary on so many levels. You got the feeling of hopelessness, too. Like, hopelessness.
He sets, like, I didn't put down in that synopsis of how he fucks her up, though, but he sets Helen up these people die, and after each of these murders and each of these things go bad, it looks like it's Helen's fault. She wakes up covered in blood with the knife. He's trying to set her up and giving her no option but to come with her, or to come with him, in this like eternity of king and queen of evil, or like whatever the fuck they are. And it's like, dog, part of me is like, take that shit, yo, because like I don't know if he'd be in pain, or if you're in pain if you have each other. It has this beautiful Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein love story. You got some bees. You got some great murder. There's a whole wide variety there, man. And I just feel like we know some more stuff. I feel like there's a lot more to know about this. What do you think?
What'd you say?
Knowing, having knowledge.
Boom. Welcome to the What Do You Know here. This is the segment here where we're here to tell you something that you may or may not know about this movie here. Now, if you know what we know, we're going to cycle up and we're going to know together. But if you don't know what you know, you don't know what you know, and you don't know what we know, then you're going to find out what we know. So once you know what we know, and then we're going to know together, then we can all come in for an orgy. We know gasm is what we call. We're all going to cycle in. We're going to become one with ourselves here. So why don't you, over there, tell me something that you may or may not know about this movie here, Candyman 1992.
So this one's going to be funny for you guys.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can't see.
Look, that's not a big deal. You don't need to see. All you need to know, we have referred to this actress many times on this show because I do such a great impression of her. Sandra Bullock. You are familiar with Sandra Bullock.
Your Sandra Bullock impression is dead on, I swear. See, I can't see you right now, so it's like I feel like I'm about to be talking to Sandra Bullock here.
It's amazing. Well, this Sandra Bullock, she almost got the role in this movie. It was almost her.
Sandra Bullock almost had a role in this movie.
Yeah, well, and I know what you're asking. You're saying, hey, can you give me an impression of what Sandra Bullock would be like in Candyman?
How did you know? Did you read my mind or something?
Yeah.
Do you have tarot cards?
Hold on.
Go for it here. Let me hear a line that it would have been like on Sandra Bullock.
Hey Candyman, I'm Sandra Bullock. Please stop killing everybody. Just stop all the killing, cause I'm gonna be Sandra Bullock.
I swear to God, that's Sandra Bullock.
I thought that was decent. That wasn't my best Sandra Bullock, because I really did, I usually like to drink tea and get in the element, and, I'll put on the lights. I'll really get into character, but, I mean, that's what she would have did. She would have came, and she would have been great, but, Virginia Madsen, she's the way to go. We're not going with Sandra Bullock.
Say Candyman is Sandra Bullock 5 times. Well, actually 4 times, because I don't want to die.
Candyman, Candyman. Candyman, Candyman, Candyman. That's Sandra Bullock.
It is Sandra Bullock. If I never
classic Sandra.
Classics. Wow, so that's a pretty good fact there. That's a pretty good fact. I have a fact here.
What's your fact?
That
I
you
want to
may
know.
or may not know about this movie. So, the role of Candyman was originally not going to be
Tony Todd?
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be Tony Todd?
No. I know it was Tony Todd. You just didn't give me time to say it. Tony Todd was not the original cast member that was going to be Candyman. Do you know who it was?
John Goodman?
No.
Oh.
Do you know who it was supposed to be?
Who?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
I like Eddie Murphy, but I don't know if he's got the stature.
Eddie Murphy was going to be considered, I should say, for the role of Candyman. But the problem was, they said, you know what? This guy is too short. He's not intimidating enough.
He's a small
Eddie
guy.
Murphy's like 5'9" or something. That's not intimidating.
No,
not like fucking Tony is 6'5", Shaq looking, powering over you like. Okay, that man, he's very intimidating, very big, so it didn't work.
Eddie Murphy would have made me laugh.
Eddie Murphy would have made me laugh. I would love to see Eddie Murphy play a horror movie one day, though. I think he'd be really good at it.
Well, he did the vampire in Brooklyn, but that was still more comedic than any,
I'm talking about like a serious role here. That'd be very interesting.
You gonna be my victim now. That's
so you want to be a victim here?
That would be good. I just played out like a whole scene. It's always been you, Helen, from the very beginning. So that's some good stuff. I like that. So we got we got Sandra Bullock and Eddie Murphy. That's the Candyman that coulda, woulda, shoulda, but never did. And we got the best version with Tony Todd and Virginia Madsen. I like that. You got anything else? I don't have nothing else.
No.
Okay.
It's really fucking hot in this damn thing. Can we get out of here?
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Ozark, those are some pretty interesting facts. As every week, we just learn a little bit. I like that about us. We get to learn a little bit. We could use the knowledge.
We get to learn.
That's
things.
right. You know what we need to do, though?
What?
Here at the Sloppy Horror Podcast, we like to look out for those that look out for us. And we appreciate all of you fans out there that have been sharing our stuff, been coming to the website, checking that out, checking out the merch. And today we have a very special birthday shout out to a very special listener.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
That's right. So, Rebecca, I know you're out there. We want to say happy birthday to you. What you was the 5th? Is that when she said her birthday was?
1, 2, 3, 4. Happy birthday!
Yeah, that's right. I want to say your last name, but I don't want to. I don't want to dox you. I don't want to butcher it, and you know how that be. But Rebecca, we appreciate you so much here at Sloppy Horror Podcast, and we appreciate all you guys. Seriously.
So happy birthday today to Miss Rebecca. I hope you have a good fucking fantastic birthday. I hope everything goes right for you. I hope somebody pays for your drink in front of you at Dunkin' Donuts. I hope your man goes down and eats the cookie like a motherfucker. I hope your kids make you a great drawing that gets posted on the fridge. I hope everything goes well for you because we see your love, we see your support, and we appreciate it very much. So happy birthday, motherfucker, Rebecca. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Do, 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 do. Happy birthday.
Did I mention that Ozark and I used to make music, and it was just like that, as a matter of fact.
Yes, that was a track.
We used to do like swinger, kind of like big band. Well, we heard it was your birthday, and Ozark would play like that. Grab your gal, it's her fucking birthday. Put your fingers in her skirt, we're gonna...
Your parents banged and he didn't pull out on this 9 months earlier from this day.
And here you are.
And here you are.
'Cause of science and banging.
That's right. So, Christian Ramey.
Your parents fucked. I mean, that's to everybody. Everybody listening, your parents fucked. Think about it.
No, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Do not think about it.
My parents aren't together anymore. Yeah, but they fucked at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And they made you a little dumbass. Somebody did it to me, too. Here I am.
Absolutely. So, Christian Ramey, Candyman 1992.
Yes.
Focus. Okay. It's time to get serious. Now, we all have favorite parts in the movies. Let's get this out of the way. We like to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll call this segment the I don't know what the fuck to call it, but it appears every time, and I think it's very interesting, and I like talking about it. What is your favorite scene in the movie, and why is it your favorite scene in the movie? Candyman 1992.
You know what's really cool to me, and I kind of lump them in together because it would only probably be like a 4-minute scene altogether, but the montages of when Helen is kind of like, when she's not in front of Candyman, I love how he can just like call to her like on some Darth Vader shit, and she just feels his presence. She can hear him, and that like just pretty much, he's pretty much telling her, give up, come with me. And then I really did enjoy that line where he's like, you know, your death will be the story that children will tell. It'll make lovers hold each other closer in their rapture, live or be with me and be immortal. But if I had to like really break it down to a scene, and I feel like it's cheating, but his first reveal is so great to me because it's not like, think of anybody else's first reveal, even like a Freddy Krueger. You know, he comes down the alleyway with arms all long and he cuts his fingers off and he's chasing you. You peel his face off, you know. It's crazy. He's nuts. They're looking for Candyman this whole movie, the first 45 minutes, and they find this guy who admits to being Candyman, but he's not Candyman. So he's in jail.
You know, okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, go. No,
but I love the only part in the movie that made me laugh was that lineup scene. They all just come in their line.
You looking for Candyman?
I can't even say it. I heard you. Tell me you can't watch that after like the Candyman. I heard you looking for Candyman, bitch. I'm sorry.
That's what ruined the new trailer to me because like they had that like fucking the new movie. They had that like Morgan Freeman sounding dude. So I hear you want to know about Candyman. Like that's all I would fucking hear when I like heard that. But so she finds the guy who she thinks is him, so she's feeling all fucking high and mighty, and she tells this little boy, like, you don't have to worry about Candyman. It's not a ghost. He's a real dude. We just locked him up. It's not real. And this little boy, he knows what's up. He knows, like, nah, this is scary. But she's walking to her car, and I'm not a woman, but there is a great, something about a woman in a parking garage.
Well, they get robbed. That's where a lot of robberies and abductions happen, is in empty parking lots.
Yeah.
Garages. It's very real thing.
Absolutely.
That's not like fabricated movie type fear. Like that's a real absolute fear, I guarantee you, that most women have. Even dudes too. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. If you're alone in a parking garage, it's fucking creepy.
It is creepy, man. So it's broad daylight, dude. She's leaving, and then all of a sudden you hear, Helen. And you turn and you see Candyman, but he's not scary looking. Like he's just really tall.
He's really tall, but he's looking up at first, which is creepy as hell.
And he's like all the way at the other end, and he's not like covered in blood at first. He's like in a coat. He's just a tall dude. And like it's almost like at first you're like, yo, what's up, man? Like if somebody did that to you, like Mark, you'd be like, yes, hello. Do I fucking know you, dude? Like, you're awfully tall down there, bud. What do you want to fucking... You're going one-on-one? What are you trying to do here? Play a game of 21? It's not what he wanted. But she gets
Ping
sucked
pong.
in. It's a very, very Hannibal Clarice. You get those kind of vibes, but he's so seductive where she kind of gets locked in and she can't look away. She doesn't, like, know what to do. But it's not even just like a seductive in a sense where she's like, ooh, I think this guy's hot. Like, she's like really like...
It's a trance.
Yeah, bro.
Psychosis trance, like her eyes just start twitching. Like you know how girls look after you give them a really good orgasm? It's just like...
I broke the lights, Mark.
What are you doing?
I tried to kill that fly. It's all right. Look, they're back.
Why is there always a fly in here?
Dude, I don't know. It's only when we record, dude. I'm starting to think this place is haunted.
Well, you just killed the ghost. That could be like your ancestor or something.
Oh, good. Well, fuck them. They can't be in here.
I guess not.
They got to go. So that part, to me, the fact that it didn't present itself, it wasn't a... What are you doing down there?
I'm doing the face she was making when she was getting hypnotized.
Oh, it was. It was. I liked about that it wasn't nighttime. It wasn't like he chased her like, I'm gonna get you, bitch. Like, it wasn't anything like that. It was very like, hey.
Yeah, it's a different type of fear for sure.
It is, but it's like, hello, I'm over here. Don't you want to be my victim? Yeah.
No.
Be my victim. What a fucking line, dude.
Yeah.
Like, volunteer your life to me. Like, be my victim. Like, outside of sexual, outside of the bedroom, like, actually talking for real, that's terrifying.
Yes.
Somebody trying to be my No, bro, you're not going to talk me into it. You remember the Tenacious D Pick of Destiny says, come over here and I'm going to stab you. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that.
No.
We're going to go this way.
Yeah.
Come over here and let me stab you. No. I'm not doing this.
That's a very good choice. Very great scene there. Very great scene. Mine will probably have to be the hard to pick. I enjoyed the psychiatric evaluation scene when they first bring Helen into the doctor when they actually like reveal to her like you've been in here for like 3 months or something.
Yeah,
like,
that was cool.
We've been sedating you forever, and then she finally realizes it. So then she tries to explain to this doctor, psychiatrist, whoever he is, and he's sitting in the chair just rocking back and forth, and she says like, well, it's Candyman and all this stuff, and the doctor's like, no, no.
The
She's
doctor
like,
kill.
Yeah. And then she's like, well, I can prove it. He's like, okay, how? She's like, I can summon him. Oh shit. So she looks, and conveniently there is a mirror right to the left of her. So she does the spiel, Candyman, 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 and does all the Candymans. And then at first you think nothing happens, but then all of a sudden you just hear, like, oh, he's getting murdered.
Dude gets a hook right through his body.
Oh, yeah, murdered.
Honestly, that's probably the best kill in the movie.
Absolutely. And then, Candyman is sitting there, and he just unhooks the straps. Another cool thing is he just, like, shoots out the window, like, backwards. Like,
I'm out of here, bitch. Yeah. See you later, bitch. I'm a baddie.
Yeah, and he just breaks the window, and then she gets free. And then, unfortunate events happen to her throughout that. But that little exchange was my favorite part.
You remember when she was in a hospital, though, and, like, tied up to that bed, and he, like, was above her? I really liked that, too. Like, It kind of gave me a Dracula vampire feel, too. I know he's not a vampire.
No.
But he does have that, like, live with me in my seductive lifestyle.
I don't know technically what you would classify him as a monster. I guess is he a supernatural being? Is he a demon, ghost? What the fuck is he?
Supernatural ghost. I wouldn't go demon because he's like, I don't think he's teamed up with anybody. It's mostly, I would say, it's complete revenge. Say like remember with Freddy, he made a deal with those dream demons. Like, this is your gig now. You're a fucked up human, so now you can work for us. He was a good dude. Like, Candyman was a good, normal guy, and they killed his ass. But I'm really serious about that, man. Like, I don't think enough can be said about the original Candyman franchise came out during the O.J. Simpson trial and during, like, the L.A. riots. Times were just as tumultuous and just as rocky as they are now. But I love that the Candyman franchise, even though it dealt with the issues, it wasn't like puff pieces about race issues, because like I totally respect those issues, but I didn't want it to be, and I'm nervous with the new one that's what it may be. I'm not sure, but I don't want it to be solely that, because I thought this movie did such a great job at like being smart, but not being just solely about that, because he was an artist as well. Not like it wasn't just a race thing. There was a love aspect about it, too, that I really loved, where he was in love with her, and it was all incorporated. But when you hear this dude was, like, the son of a slave who hooked up with the white woman, got his hand cut off, like, you know what that means. Like, that doesn't need further explaining. You're like, oh, that's fucked up. They killed his ass. They shouldn't have killed him. Like, Candyman's back, and that's why you kind of support him. Like, when he's trying to get this girl, yeah, it's fucked up. He's ruining her life, but there's that small part of you where you're like, get her, Candyman. Get her. You deserve her.
You go get your bitch, man.
Yeah, you get that eternity, man. You deserve it,
I mean, it's
bro.
a good pick.
Yeah, she's great.
Pick.
She's
good pick.
She is hot, man.
Oh, she is. She's pretty. She's a beautiful woman.
Beautiful woman.
She's one fine-looking lady. Some guy told me that yesterday. We went to the casino out for our date night. I'm going to the bathroom here. Actually, we're both walking to the bathroom together. So we're going there. We split up, and then this old guy over here comes in. He's like, "Hey, man, that's a nice looking lady you got there." I was like, "Okay,
thanks, man."
I was like, who the fuck says that to people?
I know.
Like, you know.
I know. I hate that. I hate when people come up to you and they're like, "Oh, you got a great girl." And she's horrible. Have you hung out with her? Don't compliment me. Do not give me compliments. I deal with all the aspects. She farts in her sleep. Do you know that? Just start saying shit like that when people start giving you compliments. Like, I wonder if I wonder if it works both ways. I wonder if people go up to, like, girls are like, "Oh, you got such a great guy," because I don't think they do. We're not that fun. We're great guys.
No, I don't know. I have no idea because I don't really hang out with people, so I don't know.
I don't either, Mark. I got a problem. I really only hang out with you, and I hang out with scary movie people on the onlines, on the interwebs, on the internet machine.
On the worldwide, the internet machine.
Fancy internet machine.
Do you remember when people called the room in their house the computer room?
I do.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I just thought about that. I hang out with people in the computer
TikTok
room.
that. No, it's like, you need to make that a clip. That's a good point, man. That's a little piece of 90s nostalgia for those folks.
Yeah.
Go in the computer room.
I'm going to go jerk off in the computer room.
Man, that was rough. Yeah, in a wheelie chair. I don't know if I could beat off in a wheelie chair in front of.
Well, then you gotta come and you know. I mean, you gotta come, obviously, but then you gotta come in. You gotta bring like a towel. And if you were really stressed out, you brought toilet paper and it's stuck, and then you walk around with toilet paper on your shit for half the day, and you don't want to peel it off because it hurts. You just gotta wait till it dissolves in the shower and all this. These are common problems. But then you do it in the shower, and then you don't, clean it up right away, and semen gets hard when it's in warm water for you ladies that don't know how this works, and then it gets on the fucking.
It's like concrete.
It gets on the bottom of the toilet here, and you cut your foot. It's a horrible time. But that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a solid segment called Rate This Movie.
Rate it, baby.
Sloppy horror rating, baby, yeah! Well, hello there. Welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast Rating. This is the segment of the show where we're going to sit here and rate, I say, this movie here.
Please make this a permanent character.
I don't even know what that accent is at all.
It's like a southern oil salesman.
A southern oil salesman?
Like a gay southern oil salesman. Like, hello. I bet I have deals that can make you feel special.
I can make you feel real special, especially because I can see you hit the gym today. Toot toot now. This is Sloppy Horror Podcast Rating here. We're going to rate this movie in a series of 4 categories. 3 of the categories worth 3 points. Last category worth 1 point for a total of
10 points altogether.
10 points altogether. Okay. So we're going to go right on into it here. We're going to go to the first category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast Rating. That is casting.
I'm not saying it's the only great category for this movie, but I think it's the best. As we discussed with the Sandra Bullock and the Eddie Murphy, just wouldn't have worked. Tony Todd, dude. If I like, I've listened to a lot of Tony Todd things, interviews, whatnot, and everybody goes over the fact that he worked in theater and whatever. If I were to interview him, Tony, if you let me interview you, I won't give you that same interview that everyone else has given you. It's like literally verbatim. If you listen to every interview he's gotten, it's the same interview. And like, I don't know if it can't be because he picks, because they're trying to be respectful to his career,
sure,
obviously, and go over it. But like, I have spicy questions, Tony. Anyways. What happened was the director said, hey, I don't want you, and Virginia, I don't want you scared when you see Tony. I want you to kind of have that look of like, I don't know if I'm turned on or afraid or like what's going on. Mm-hmm. So he developed a relationship with them. So Tony and Virginia, what they did in their personal time, they took like ballet classes. They took like horseback riding classes together. Like a few things that were like a little fucking artsy and that added to the artsy element. And Tony added the whole artist element that wasn't there before. He says, hey, like, I want a reason. Why did I have a hook for a hand? Like, that has to make sense why they took my hand off. Like, why? Mm-hmm. That's, like, random as shit. Like, why did I need my hand? And Tony's idea was to add that backstory. And the director backed it up, says, sure, we'll let you guys developed this little relationship of like kind of like an art. So they did like ballroom dancing. That ballroom scene where they were dancing was actually a lot longer. And what was fucked up is that they made them cut it because they said that the interracial like part made people too touchy. Like you can have people fucking murdering people. Weird, but whatever. Not a big. It's fucked up to think that that's not even a big deal now. But that being said, that much work that much passion into a role. This is a 3 out of 3. As we talked, Bonadette, or what the hell is her name? I can't.
Even her role,
yeah,
their husband's good. The little kid's great. Even the professor at dinner, like he's talking like an intellectual professor.
That's gonna be me when I'm older.
It's great. Yeah, except for horror movie. All right, so 3 out of 3 for casting. That's 3 out of 10. Going on to the next category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. That is kills.
This might be a theme with Clive Barker. I like his kills, but there's not a large variety that we have here because even with Bonadette, what the hell's her name?
Did you forget it already?
I keep saying it weird, dude, and it's making me feel like I'm saying it wrong. It's making me feel like I'm Bernadette, not Bonadette. Bernadette. I know her as Ardelia the most from Silence of the Lambs, and they're both strange names. Don't hate me.
It's Bernadette.
All right. Her death was off screen.
Yes.
It was off screen, but you see the aftermath of her, which is kind of cool. The doctor was the most gory of the deaths, but really nothing outlandish if you're used to a horror movie. I love the imagery. I love the scenery. There's something about this movie. What are those sounds, man? Like that glass breaking with the scream. That I don't know what that is. I love that sound. I know that was in that song we had.
It's I'm trying to think. It's like it's something slamming. Might be like a steel bar cage slamming.
It's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
That whole noise effect that they got going on.
Yeah, and we don't. You don't know it now, but that sound's going to be in this, so don't worry about that. They'll know what we're talking about here in the beginning. If you listen to the intro, that is the beat, the little section of a beat I put in there at the end.
Yeah,
that's from that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I love that beat. That's honestly one of my favorite songs that we've did. But that being said, they it was done with the kills, so there was like this like whole montage, if you will, of like sound and just imagery. It's like Psycho but 90s. You remember how like that Psycho shower scene, like it wasn't a direct shot of her being stabbed, it was like 24 shots that were like spliced to make it look like that. And I feel that way with Candyman. So as last week with Hellraiser, Clive Barker has some great innovative things, but I don't have that many. I think like there's 4 in this movie or something. Like it's a pretty low count, so I'm going to go 2. I can't give it a 3 because there isn't enough.
No, there isn't enough to get to the 3, but I think the brutalness of them and all the things with it, the imagery of it, the sounds of it, and a lot of it is implied. You don't get the direct penetration shots and all that stuff, but it's still good. They're still scary. So that's 5 out of 10. Going on to the 3 and third final point category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, that is fear.
Mark, I mean, I really think you got a point. This movie freaked me out as a kid. In a way where it was smart, like it tricked you. You can watch it for the first half and feel like, I can handle this. This isn't that bad. But then you see Candyman and you're like, dude, this dude ain't no joke. Like, he's not even afraid. Like, there's no, like, he's calm. Like, he's calm about fucking you up.
That's more terrifying than anything, I'm telling you.
Yeah, man.
Watching it as an adult. And all those other aspects of fear that we talked about earlier have to factor into it.
I have to give this a 3, dude. Like, it's well done. It's a rich story.
I know. Like I said before, man, I think this is the scariest movie out of all the episodes we've done so far when you really watch it and think about it and take into effect. So that is 3. So that is 8 out of 10 so far. Going on to the fourth final category here, which is 1 point, and that is, does Christian Randy fuck with this movie?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of my favorites. I love Candyman. I love the lines in this movie. Love the score.
Dude,
love
the score is off the chain in this movie to be.
Dude, that intro.
Dude, and it's like intellectual, creepy piano stuff. That's perfect, dude.
Tony Todd was quoted saying that it sounded like the Phantom was playing that. Like,
yeah, it was, dude. It fits. It's creepy. It fits perfect. The score fits it so well. Fantastic. Makes
yeah,
the
if somebody
movie
asked
scary
me,
as it
would you recommend Candyman 1992? That's a fuck yeah. That's a big 10-4.
That's a big fuck yeah. So that's a 9 out of 10 total points. Horror rating, Sloppy Horror official, branded on there, 9 out of 10. This is a great movie. Go fucking watch it.
Yes.
Now, if you don't have it, you can obviously rent it, but don't do that because it's on Tubi or Tubi, whichever the fuck it's called, for free.
Yeah.
There's just some commercials. It's like watching it on TV.
It's worth it, dude. It's so worth it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And they don't edit it, so that makes it great.
Yeah, you see boobies and all that stuff. So it's nice.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good rating.
It's a very solid rating.
I am not happy with remake culture. It is what it is, but Ozark, you do make a beautiful point. And at the end of the day, in 50 years, people are still going to seek out the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They're still going to seek out the original Nightmare on Elm Street, etc. And I don't think this is going to be a difference. I don't necessarily think it needed a remake because it still has a lot of watchability. Like, I still think this would freak out kids.
100%.
As long as they're not little psychos like my kid, I think they might.
Dude, it will freak out adults.
I think so too, man. I think so too, and I think also we talk a lot about fun time movies, and there's a lot of our listeners that might have that taste for fun time movies that maybe your significant other doesn't. Maybe they'll entertain it and watch it with you, but it's not what they like. 1992 Candyman is a movie you could watch with your significant other because it has or whoever, because it has a little bit of, I mean, not a little bit, a lot. It's an intelligent film. I mean, they're really seeking out like an urban legend. It's like almost like a cop thriller meets.
There's great camera work in it. The score is great. The acting is phenomenal. The story itself is absolutely interesting.
Yeah.
They got kills in there for the horror aspect. They don't, it's all over. Just a great movie.
They make you feel too, like in that first part of the movie, while they're looking for everything, you're like, okay, this payoff's gonna be cool. It might be creepy. Like, it's like up. Like, they ramp the fuck out of that. Like, he kills the shit out of people. He's brutal. So, if you're starting it and you're like, this is kind of slow, just give it some time. It takes a couple minutes, but once you're in there, dude, you're gonna be like, oh, thank you. Thank you for making me stick around.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, Ozark, Mark, where can these people find our merchandise and our content?
Thank you. You can find our merchandise at www.sloppyhorrorpodcast.com.
Yep.
Now we just started it, so be patient with us. I'm working on a lot of more new designs. Those should be coming out here in a few weeks. And then you can also find our content up there. If you're an audio listener, just Google Sloppy Horror Podcast. You can find it on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Audible. And if you want to watch us, this is a great show. If you're into that and you want to look at our beautiful fucking faces, we're on YouTube. Or if you want to listen, you can just put the phone down and listen to us, or your computer, whatever you want to do. You can find Sloppy Horror Podcast pretty much anywhere. There's like 20 pages through Google, okay? So check out the merch. Keep an eye on the new stuff. I'm coming up with some pretty cool designs, okay? Christian Ramey as well. He's got some ideas floating around. We also have other people sending us some cool designs, so we get a lot of love with that too. So there's going to be some sweet, sweet fucking shit coming out.
Yeah, absolutely.
To make you look like a fantastic, cool person.
Yeah, and we appreciate all the love and support. And, obviously, as you guys listen, Ozark and I have been pretty adamant from the beginning that we didn't want to just take any kind of bullshit sponsors right out the gate. Obviously, if there's sponsors that pertain with us, that's great, and that's something we'd like to do. But Ozark and I are men of the people, And that's what we like to do. So we are solely supported by you guys. So we very much appreciate all that. And for all of you guys that were shaking us down for months, almost like, how can we support you? That's how you could do it. And we fucking thank you guys so much for listening every week.
And you may not think it, but a share somewhere goes an absolutely long way.
Absolutely,
and
man.
That's something that, if you don't like the merch, you don't want to buy the merch, absolutely, that's fine. But if you can help spread the word, because we need help doing that too. It's not easy.
No, it is not.
It's not easy. But if you can, if this podcast makes your day better, which I hope it does, and you share it, and it makes somebody else's day better, that's a beautiful thing. That's a motherfucking beautiful thing.
And I'm going to tell you right now, another way that you can support us is that 13th episode. It's going to be out a week early. It's going to be out a week early on the Patreon. And if you guys want to check that out, that's going to be great. Ozark and I are going to throw some fun content up on the Patreon. We haven't got balls deep into that yet, but I think some fun things of really getting to know us, like what are Ozark Mark's top favorite video games? Ozark Mark's top favorite movies? What are Ozark Mark's favorite things to do on a Sunday? You can find these kind of things on Patreon because those are fun. Those are simple to make. It's a little bit outside of the horror world, and it'll give you some content to chew on while you're there on the Patreon. So we thank you guys so much. This has been a blast. I'm really almost at the point where I'm about to make this like my full-time gig. So I really appreciate you, Ozark and I, from the bottom of our hearts. So we'll be back next week with something more, something spooky to talk to you about. If you get bored in the meantime, follow us on TikTok. I go live generally every day. And I do have some big plans for October on there. If you guys like watching horror flicks on watch parties, that kind of thing, hit me up. I'll send you the link for the Discord. And you could be a part of the family there. A bunch of great people on there, and I appreciate all of you guys on the Discord.
Yes, and if you're a fan of me more than Christian Ramey,
Yep.
which I know some of you are, I need followers on my TikTok, god damn it, so I can go live, too, so I can join the live festivities. And it's also a backup account. I post some clips from the show as much as I can, so it's a nice little tidbit there. So my TikTok is at Ozark Mark, obviously. So you can find that too. So follow me.
Yeah, no, seriously, guys, do that. Also, I need to do the plug video for that. Thank you for reminding me to do that. So that's what we're gonna do.
Is that what I did?
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna have a good time. We're coming into October. Texas, where my Texas fans at, Sloppy Horror Podcast will be at the Texas Frightmare Festival.
Texas.
If you see my face, if you see Sloppy Horror out and about, let me know. Say something. We're gonna have. I'm gonna be handing out certain merch I'll have for sale, but certain things we'll have out to give out. So if you see me and there's still some available, come say something to me, man, and we'll hook you up. So I'm excited. I hope you guys show me how to have a good time in Texas.
Texas.
I was in Texas. It was at the airport. And I said, I want some Dunkin' Donuts. And this man said, all we have is Pete's Coffee.
Pete's Coffee?
I said, I don't want that shit. That tastes bad.
Nah, it's bigger, though. Everything bigger down there.
I
Right?
don't like the Pete's Coffee. That shit ain't good.
What is that?
Pete Coffee?
What is that character you were doing?
Oh. All right, folks, we're getting the fuck out of here. We love you guys.